Oh, it doesn't count down anymore. Oh, we're live.
Alright, folks, welcome once again to another episode of Custom Action Figure News. This is going to be episode 70. So we are up to 70 episodes now, Shawn.
70.
That's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Yeah. No, I never imagined we'd get to 70 episodes. That's kind of crazy. We've been doing this a long time now. What is this? 3 years? 4 years?
I don't know. You pitched that harebrained scheme. I said, well, that sounds kind of like fun. And we didn't kind of know what we were doing, but we figured it out.
Yep, yep. And episode 70, we're going to be talking tonight with our special guest, Peak Obi-Wan, otherwise known as Chad. We're going to probably call him Peak Obi-Wan because my name is Chad, and Shawn's going to get way too confused if we just say
Uh,
Chad all night long. So,
I have already been having problems.
yeah, yeah. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, doing fine. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem. All right, and of course we have a nice outline that Shawn has put together as usual. All kinds of cool links to follow, but he does have a few announcements here. So I'm going to turn it over to him for those before we jump into the interview. So over to you, Shawn.
All right. Thanks, Chad. Get the screen share to work. All right. Alright, the first thing I'm hoping you're seeing is a little update about the Star Wars Expanded Universe Challenge. You have until now, until July 12th, so the deadline is fast approaching, to enter your Expanded Universe custom. Not too big of a deal. 1 entry per person, 3 3/4 inch in scale. And you can post as many work in progress pictures as you would like, but when you get to your final entry, mark it final entry and try to keep it to 5 pictures. And because the speeder bike was the second option in our poll, if you would like to create a speeder bike to complement your expanded universe figure, you're more than welcome. And as you can see, you have until Saturday, midnight Eastern Standard Time, to submit your entry in the forums. If there's any questions about that, I did put up a link on the front page today of Imperial Shipyards to see about that. And I hope you can see the grand prize. I'm hoping you want some of those action figures. I'm hearing good things about that Snowtrooper Commander and, of course, Torn Far. I think Peak Obi-Wan is not going to be too concerned with that training Luke Skywalker and that training Yoda, because as you're going to see during this interview, he's created something masterful, but still a Shawn. She's a character that most folks would still like to get. Anyhow, I'll just go up through this real quick. We're seeing some pretty cool entries. Darth Crassus has entered something pretty cool. Of course, there's an awesome Night Sister concept by Darth Sidious. Go to page 1 here. You'll have to forgive me, folks. I'm dealing with a hurricane tonight, and my internet is not working. Of course, Jetpack Blue's working on a pretty cool 3 3/4 inch custom, as is new forum member Barmick Wren. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Of course, Darth Stream's really cool custom. And Kelkin has a really cool custom. Odan Or, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But anyway, G. Carter, Galen Merritt custom. Anyway, everyone's welcome to join. And I hope you have a wonderful time with it. Alright. Go back to, let's see, the next thing on my list. Oh, we have got to talk about Jrny Fan. And Chad, you remember his diorama, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the fact that he has started 3D printing. I would definitely be remiss if we didn't give him a big shout out tonight. He has actually some diorama parts for sale. Hopefully you can see this. A torture station. You can look at his prices. He's got Spaceship Hallway. I think that one will look pretty familiar. Headquarters Wall 1. Those lounge chairs, I believe you'll know what certain scene those might fit in with. Headquarters Wall, I think those designs are pretty unique. And the computer stations look really cool. Matter of fact, those look so cool I had to order a set myself this week. But Jrny Fan is giving all of us the opportunity to order some of these wonderful, wonderful designs, and you just can't find them anywhere. The quality is exceptional. I can't wait to get my set, so maybe I can even review them on a future episode of Custom Action Figure News. But give Jrny Fan a look. Hopefully you can see the link. It's swplaysets.bugs3.com.store. We'll put the link in the show notes. But just a really cool store, and definitely like to give those folks, all the help that we can give them. So take a look. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. Chad, did you see this week?
I see.
Did you see that?
Is it the Stormtrooper? No. Oh yeah, the AT-AT
Stormtrooper.
driver.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
Well, you had that Stormtrooper on Google Plus that I was looking at earlier,
Yeah.
so I thought maybe that's what. But then I remembered you had the AT-AT driver.
Oh man, yeah, these
Just
Gentle
trying to get
Giant.
an extra one too.
Yeah, these Gentle Giant Jumbos just look so cool. Peek Obi-Wan, do these Gentle Giant Jumbos interest you at all?
They are amazing, but I actually don't collect them. They're really cool though.
I made the mistake. I was back at Celebration 5 with, good friend Fatty, Pat Newell. Some folks might remember him. And this is when this line first got started. And the Stormtrooper, I think the Stormtrooper was the SDCC exclusive, and then we had the Celebration exclusive Boba Fett. And I said, man, those look pretty cool. And I just had to have those, and they're huge, but they are just so cool and remind me so much of back when I was a kid when these action figures were on the pegs. And of course, this is the SDC exclusive for this year, and I've already ordered one, but I'm actually hoping to be able to order one more for a friend, as Chad has already alluded to. So if anybody wants to help me out, Tamer and PearlShipyards.net, if you're a Premier Guild member and don't plan on ordering this, I would love to have another one. But yeah, just really cool. All right, let's see. I had one more announcement. If I can get to it here. I wanted to take a quick look at the Dorkside Toys Sizzlin' Summer Sale. They have just all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, I'm talking about all different kinds of lines. You can see DC here. Those Funko cool little concept characters. They've got, just all kinds of cool stuff. I actually thought about that, Funko Yoda. But Marvel figures, G.I. Joe stuff. Really cool, that G.I. Joe FFS stuff. And Game of Thrones, you name it. Of course, they've got Star Wars stuff up here too. I want to say they have the 3 3/4 inch Anakin. I'll see if I can scroll down through here real quick. They have over 11 pages worth of stuff. But these guys, they understand collectors. They understand what we want. I mean, these guys even offer pre-orders at prices that are, just below the regular cost. They just understand what's going to sell, and wish they could give Hasbro some heads up about maybe what to have and what not to have. You can see all kinds of G.I. Joe, Retaliation. There's the Dollar General stuff. The FSS stuff. There's that Anakin. You can see his price is $4. You just really can't beat it. Some other Star Wars figures. Biggs, Darkfire for $4. Clone Trooper Pilot for $5. Just there's some Renegade stuff. There's Greedo, the 6-inch for $14. Leia for $14. You can just see these are well below what you're going to be able to walk into a brick and mortar store and find. So definitely want to give them a shout out. And hopefully, if you're like me, July 4th, you're looking for some deals, go give them a look-see. All right, I think I'm done, Chad.
All right. Well, we got a reference gallery on Facebook here, and I don't know if Shawn can share the link for people to follow along or if he's already done that or not. But
Yeah.
we're going to be going through that Facebook gallery and using that as our visual aid to help the interview with Peak Obi-Wan. So we're going to go ahead and get right into that interview now. And we always start off an interview whenever we first interview a customizer that we've never had on the show before with the standard question of how did you get into customizing and what led you down that road? What sorts of things inspire you to be a customizer? So could you tell us that story about how you got into customizing?
Absolutely. I think it all starts back when we were kids, of course, with Ewoks and their headdresses, switching them out and whatnot, and perfecting whatever you could do with the original collection. Changing the lightsabers with Luke Skywalker, changing it to blue or making it just a little bit more perfect. That's where I think I first saw what customizing was, and of course GI Joe. That you could unscrew the back of them and create a whole new figure with that. If you knew how to replace or change out the figures. So I think it started there, but I really started to seriously think about it in '95 when the Power of the Force 2 came back out. And that was a big part of my collecting because it was really starting to ramp up. It was mostly head swaps and just subtle fixes and whatnot at that time. Because we weren't sure really where it was going to go. Right. I saw those figures and I was like, are we going to get 20? Are we going to get 50? How many figures are we going to get? So I just went with it over time. At the time in the '90s, I was going to art school, and it was always a great side project for me, and it's continued to be a side project as my hobby. I am in the arts, so my day job is an art job. So I come home to an art job. I go during the day to an art job. I only wish it was, doing action figures or something. But, what can you do? But I think that's where it started in the '90s. Is I just kind of went with it. I collected and customized. They really both go hand in hand with me. I don't know if I could customize or collect or just do one or the other. I don't know what will happen if something happens to the 3 3/4 inch because I'm a diehard 3 3/4 inch collector and customizer. So that's pretty much what I do and how I started. I just like I said, head swaps and fixes, and then moved into some more intricate stuff, making characters. At some point in the '90s, I think I was looking for different types of customizing websites. I finally got the internet, and I said, well, I got to go find some other customizers, and I found different pages. I think the first one I found was Customizers Crossroads. You guys remember that one? I think it was Customizers Crossroads. I think it was Rebel Scum. You know those guys?
Custom Coalition?
Well, it was before that. They just
Okay.
had their own. They had their Customizer Crossroads where people could, tune in and post their own customs, and I would constantly haunt that page, and the Custom Coalition. I would definitely went there as well, and I found you guys, and I was like, wow, look at all this stuff. So that's where I started really ramping up, I guess. After I got out of college, I really started to get serious around episode 1, episode 2 time. I was definitely way involved in that. I lived
You're
in
all
Denver.
in, huh?
I was all in. I think I was telling myself that, you know, any new Star Wars has got to be a good thing, right?
Amen.
You know, I look at the positives. You know, I'm not going to, you know, beat down Star Wars. You know, I try to look at the positives and pull from all the good things. Are there things I'd change? Absolutely. But, you know, I was, like I said, all in, and so I just started customizing, and I suppose the reason I customize is, to me, nothing's perfect. You know, everything could be a little bit better. I can count maybe on one hand what I would call a perfect figure from Hasbro. And that's not to knock them or anything. They're great people, and they've given us, what, 2,000 plus figures, you know, so
Man, that's a
far.
good question. I wonder how many they have given us.
Yeah, I think Galactic Hunter had figure of the day the other day, and it was 2,088 or something like that. I don't know if that's you know, the full amount, but it's just amazing to think how many they have, and it's daunting to think how many you have to fix. So I've continued to just do as many customs, you know, as I see fit, but I also do commissions too. So whenever the commissions come in, for anybody who doesn't know what a commission is, it's you basically, you know, request a custom from me, and if we can do it, if we can pull it off, I can make it, and you purchase it from me, and there we go.
Definitely have to share that contact information at the end if you would like a custom commission from Peak Obi-Wan. Hey, that'd be great.
I'm always willing to do customs and just different types of commissions and whatnot. If my schedule is not completely filled, you know, this month I think I have 5 this month that I'm working on. I don't do things every month. You know, sometimes I'll do 1 or 2, and then I'll get back to my own stuff, which is huge also. You're actually not seeing the what I call the Wampa Cave. That's my basement. That's where I work most of the time. I'm actually sitting in my office, so you know.
Hey, at least there's some Star Wars in there, and I see Probe Droid in there, and of course, I would be definitely a little bit disappointed if I didn't see the Clone Wars in there with you.
Yep. That is that's something I truly adore. You know, I really enjoy the Clone Wars. It was a really great show. You know, I'm kind of bummed that it's gone, but I understand why it's gone. You know, I think there was just too many hands in the pot, you know, when the Disney acquisition happened. So I think it needed to end. But I certainly enjoy making Clone Wars customs. I have a official, unofficial page going on with a couple other guys. You might know Darth Daddy and Wraith 9. We do a Facebook page where we do Clone Wars customs, and that is our way of saving the Clone Wars every single time we post new stuff. You know, we always are posting new items and different things, and that's just our way to keep it going.
Hey, what's the name of that page?
I think it's just Clone Wars custom figures. Custom action figures. Clone Wars custom action figures.
All right.
And then also you can find my customs on Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations, right below here. That's also on Facebook. Certainly would love to see you come by and check out my figs.
All right. Can you hear me, Shawn?
I got you, bud.
Oh my gosh, this lag is terrible. All right.
Yeah, I think between
so
the
talking about
we're having some fun, aren't we?
yeah, this is definitely interesting. It's still thundering around here. It seems to be rolling out, but oh well. All right, so we were talking about the Clone Wars a little bit in there,
Yeah.
and we want to talk a little bit more about how the Clone Wars has impacted your customizing. And I just know that's how I came to know you, was
Yeah, me
when you
too.
kind of showed up with your Clone Wars customs, and not just making customs and repainting figures, but doing some original sculpt work as well, including entirely new full head sculpts and so forth and so on. So you kind of started to talk a little bit about it, but what is it about the Clone Wars that got you so into making custom figures based on the characters?
As far as the Clone Wars goes, I think it's just a fantastic show. I don't think there wasn't too much I didn't like about it. One of the reasons I really make a lot of Clone Wars characters is just the development that they had of the different characters, the background characters, the what you would call a third tier character. They were all very interesting, and I feel that, like I said, just saving the Clone Wars with each figure that I make, that's something I really enjoy doing. I think it comes down to just enjoying the show and just really wanting to make the characters that have constantly been missed. You know, how many people say, well, Hasbro really dropped the ball on these characters or this character or whatnot, you know?
I think I do that daily, Chad.
Yeah. It's just, it's so sad, you know? You hope that you're just going to get some more great figures. I know we have the Jedi Temple Guard coming? That's on it's 5 POA.
Right.
And that's really cool. You know, I'll definitely pick it up. You know, I'm not happy that it's 5 POA, but I really enjoy the fact that
You're going to fix it, aren't you?
Absolutely. I already have a Darth Maul in the works using, you know, the body of the 5 POA one. I'm trying to perfect it, make it a little bit more interesting. And I'm not an articulation snob, even though I make a lot of articulation on all my figures. I feel I want something that's worth the money. You know, if they're going to continue to charge us, you know, $10+ for a figure, or, you know, heaven forbid it goes any higher. You know, I don't know, but you know, I just want what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I ultimately, you know, make a lot of articulation in the characters. You know, the chance to make them cooler, make them better. It's a big part of customizing. So.
Very Shawn.
Yeah. And I absolutely love the Clone Wars. Did you guys enjoy the show?
Hey, it was Star Wars on TV. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it. You know, I'm interested in Rebels too. I don't know where it's going to go or how far it's going to go. I honestly don't think it's going to go as far as Clone Wars did, but who knows? You know, I may be customizing Rebel characters before long.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, I've definitely always been impacted by the Clone Wars. I'll continue to do figures for sure. There's so many great background characters. They're really well thought out. You know, even the main characters and the side characters, Cad Bane. I think they were going to do a whole show on Cad Bane. Who knows if that's still in the works or not? But I'd take it. You know, I'd take any Star Wars. I suppose. You know?
Huh. So there's something about that particular time frame that you really enjoy too?
I think it ultimately perfected the prequels. You know, it made them better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
I think it just made them that much better. You know, with all the people who complain about the prequels, I think the Clone Wars enhanced it. I think that's what we really wanted to see, and just the format of the show. You know, you're seeing Star Wars every single week, a half-hour show, brand new Star Wars, and you get all these new characters, and they're coming to life. You know, so that was inspiring to me. And every time I saw a character that I liked, I'm like, wow, I got to make that character. I got to, you know, from Tandivo to Peppy Bow to whoever was on the show that week. You're just like, I gotta make that character.
Yeah, I used to like talking with. That's what I guess how I first got to know Chad, my old buddy Lucas Clones, because he used to love all the clones, and
hmm
I had a good flashback this
Yep.
week when I saw him working on a Rex.
I thought that was great. It looked great, Chad.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, my son, my younger son, he started to play with a very small collection of Clone Wars figures that I have left over, which are all clones, and he puts them all in my AT-AT and plays with them, and then he's discovered that the whole thing is on Netflix. So he's actually was watching Clone Wars reruns on Netflix. He's probably watching them right now. But he also talked his mother into buying him the Lego Star Wars Clone Wars video game on the Xbox. So he's been playing that, and he's been playing with the toys, and he's been watching the show. So he's kind of like bringing it back a little bit around here, and I was pulling. He was pulling some of my clone chickers down, and I was like, you know what? I better paint those before he takes them.
Yeah, they certainly missed a few of the clones, didn't they?
Oh well, there are so many of them. I can imagine them missing quite a few.
Yeah, I have so many I still want to make. It's just a wonder why they couldn't just repaint a couple more, just a few more.
Now save that. That's a question for further in. What are you going to work on next?
Okay. I got a bunch for you.
All righty.
Examples too, so I'll show you. Yeah, but it was a great show. It definitely impacted my customs. Somebody who helped me was Darth Addy again. His son is a huge fan of the Clone Wars, and he constantly was telling me, "Hey man, we should get together and make some Clone Wars customs." And I said, "Absolutely. You just tell me what, and I'll make it. We'll make it together. Because I'm the kind of Star Wars fan. I want to see every last figure. I want there to be 4,000 figures. I want to do every last crazy character, and I think ultimately in customizing, my sweet spot, if you will, is making characters that maybe they won't touch. Maybe Hasbro won't touch it, or whoever's working on the toys. Maybe they won't touch that figure. Maybe it's not so much an EU character, but more, a Legends character. My bad. But it's always good to make things that maybe they're not making. And I see these Clone Wars characters, and even the background characters, the third tier characters are interesting. The droids are interesting. The aliens are interesting. They're amazing. So I'm gonna keep going. Regardless of the show being gone. Like I said earlier, there was too many hands in the pot, and it had to go. I don't foresee it coming back, but I'm gonna celebrate it by making custom Clone Wars. So.
Well, that's an awesome attitude to have about it, isn't it, Chad?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Let's see here. Well, the tail end of that. Yep. Can you hear me, Shawn?
Yep. What were you getting ready to say, bud?
I was just going to say there was a tail end to that question about what figures he would have liked to have seen Hasbro produce, and which one from what they produced was his favorite.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Ultimately, I think, and this is probably going to come to it as a shock, but the IG-86 Assassin Droid is one of my favorites that came out of the Clone Wars. Do you know that one, the IG-88 looking one?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that one's a
Oh yeah,
great one.
I'm with you.
It's just amazing, just what they put into it. They made the hands clamp, they made the pelvis move. It was super articulated, and it was amazing. I was only sad that they didn't do more repaints of it, which they could have done. They could have done more than just Zero's Assassin Droid. There was the dirty one, which was the first one they made, and then the Zero's Assassin. And then they also could have made like Chronos 327. They could have made other different versions of that character. And so that's one of my favorites that they made. There's just so many amazing ones, and I think that's why I collected it initially and fell in love with it, because there was a lot of cool characters. As far as what they didn't make, um, gosh, I don't know. Maybe the Big Four. Do you know what the Big Four are from the Clone Wars?
Uh, Big Four.
Yeah, I would say the Big Four are Zero the Hutt,
Oh yeah.
Spider Maul, of
Hmm.
course, Palm Krell, which everybody loves.
Yeah, we thought we were going to see one of him. What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I bet you he's too big. I bet you he can't fit into the 5-point articulated format anymore, so they had to can him.
Oh.
And then the fourth one is the one I'm going to try to make, and it's Admiral Trench. I would
Oh.
love to make that guy.
That's Chad's favorite, the Clone Wars
Yeah.
character, I think.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Yeah.
You've already made an awesome Zero the Hutt. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a second one coming. He's
Oh.
uh, he's going to be pretty amazing. I picked up another of the regular Jabba the Hutt, and I was able to start repainting him, and I'm going to redesign him. Did we lose somebody?
Yeah, I think Chad, he was having some computer issues, so we're going to add him back in once he gets started back up. So
Okay.
until then, you're in my hands.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think the big four were the ones that everybody wants. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll attempt some of them. Maybe not Paul Krell. I hate to say it, folks. He's not really on my radar. Right now he's not on my radar, but I have a lot of really intricate characters I'd like to make. Just different third tier kind of lower end kind of characters. I have one called Poon Zignut. Do you know who that is?
Who?
His name is Poon Zignut,
Oh my
and
goodness.
and he is the Aquilish character. He's a walrus man, and
Okay.
he's the one with that. He kind of has a cloud car pilot hat on, helmet, and he has that kind of that jacket on, that orange jacket. He's always in the background, and it's hilarious because you can play the game. How many episodes of the Clone Wars is Poon Zignut in?
Right.
But yeah, I mean he's definitely a background character. He's only in a few episodes where he's a main character, but I'm trying to do another one of him. I actually did one in a realistic format where I made him look a little bit more real, opposed to
Hmm.
the stickish kind of animation
I
style.
think that was the one we were going to talk about here in just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's pretty amazing. I think that's a great character. These kind of characters are the ones that I'm inspired to make. Just trying to go after EU type stuff. Oh,
All right.
EU. Oh, I'm sorry, Legends again. There I go again.
You,
There I
you
go
and
again.
Beth. That's one of the reasons we had the custom contest because, those folks gave us a Star Wars verse, back when we didn't know if there were going to be even prequels or anything, and
Right, right.
we're just trying to give those guys. I'm hoping some of them might notice it and see us giving them a shout out, because they were our a new hope during the dark years, where for all practical purpose there were no Star Wars toys, there were no Star Wars movies, but yet through those great expanded universe novels, at least we did have something Star Wars that we can enjoy. I guess I don't know, did it start with the Thrawn trilogy and work its way up through there? I remember Shadows of the Empire was one of my favorites, but anyway.
That's where I thought it came in. Shadows of the Empire.
Mhm.
I thought that was the part where it really picked back up, because didn't George say something to the effect of everything but the movie? And that didn't really happen with the Thrawn trilogy. It did happen though with Shadows of the Empire, and I was a big fan of that. A lot of my customs, a lot of my real style customs are Shadows of the Empire, because I adore them. And I think they're great too. That's my favorite EU is Shadows of the Empire for sure.
Cool. Definitely one of my favorites too. Hey, we're
Yeah.
trying to get, for those of you who wondered where my other Chad, Lucas Cleanse, went, he is having some PC issues. He's firing his PC back up, but so I'm going to kind of do the moderator duties till I get him back in here. But, Peak Obi-Wan, what do you say we get into some of your work? Because it's just so cool, and maybe we can just go through this Facebook gallery and you can kind of maybe walk us through some of the recipes and some of what you did, because folks, just sit back and prepare to be amazed, because this is just some awesome work, and one of the main reasons we definitely want to get him on here this evening. All right, and I'm hoping you can see this in your screen as we start it. I mean, here, like, he does the Clone Wars, but it's just not the Clone Wars. Like, here's a good example of a 2-1B. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Oh, I love this one. I thought that I would try to take the time to make a little bit better 2-1B. I know that when we got the version of the medical droid from Episode 3, that it wasn't really this version. So I went and I took the original character, and I said I'm gonna make some articulation on this thing. I'm gonna make it look a little bit better. I added some hoses on his arms. What you see there on his elbows there, he can articulate at the joint, that that cup thing that's on his shoulder.
Right.
He can articulate there, and he can also articulate at the elbow.
Man, awesome.
And then, of course, he can articulate on the legs. Not too much customizing in here, just a little bit of paint, not really much in there, but I like it a little bit better than what they gave us, because it was missing the hoses. It needed the hoses on the arm for sure. So
It's just those little details like that just really kick a figure up a notch,
Right, I agree.
All right. All right, let's see what this next one is here. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is the Clone Wars version of Darth Maul. Yeah, to my best vision of him. This I thought this looked a little bit better than what they did to 5 points.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, oh my goodness, this blows that one away, and I don't know. I guess Hasbro's big thing about 5 points of articulation is they don't think kids. I guess their main audience, kids, don't really desire that, but I don't know if I agree with that at all. But I mean, just look at that. I mean, what articulation does this particular figure have, Chad?
He has full articulation. He has everything from the pelvis to the knees. You can see that I used the Magna Guard with the articulation in the ankles, so he has that double ankle articulation as well. His waist turns, because can you guess what that torso is by chance?
It's not like a Luke, is it?
It's Anakin. It's an Anakin Skywalker.
Ah, cool.
So basically, what I used there for his chest is I actually used some sculpting, and I actually added his chest in there. But I used an Anakin Skywalker. You can kind of see his arms under there. You can see his gloves a little bit, and he turned out really awesome. You know, he can totally do the splits. You know, in this pic, he doesn't have it out right now, but the dark saber hilt is on his back. Is actually on his belt around the back. So, yeah, and it's just the Clone Wars head, of course, and I think I sculpted those pockets that are on his pants.
Oh, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, I think I've got the other Chad back. Lucia Clones, you there? I hear Vinny.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
I'm on my phone right now because my computer is still booting back up. So I don't know. I don't know how well this is going to work, but it seems to be working better than my computer was.
Yeah. All right. You want to take over moderation duties, bud?
Well, I would love to, Shawn, but my computer won't even pull up Google Drive, so I can't even look at the show notes.
All right. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one then. Oh man. Talk about the gorgeous detail work in this one. How do you pronounce this one, Peak Obi-Wan?
It's Emmett Noloff, or Emmett Noloff. He was from the Mystery of the Thousand Moons with my favorite character, Jabo Hood. You know, he was the guy that was saying, you know, we're all cursed. You know, he was like a wicked old pirate or something. Like I said, I just love those background characters. He was in some boxes on Aigo. You know, Aigo. I think I said that right. Aigo.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah. Pronunciation it depends on where you're at, and you get all kinds of weird names. But yeah, that's him. He was just an awesome pirate, just saying he was cursed. You know. But I just made him out of a bunch of parts. You know, just lots of different parts. Lots of different things. I think I used the swimming squid head guy, and I just changed his little tails coming down off his mouth. Just changed him a little bit, and just gave him a whole new paint job. Most of the figures I do, I try to give a total paint job, like 100% paint job, without leaving anything unpainted. You know, I think it transforms the figure, for lack of a better word.
And how many different colors did you use on this guy?
I think it's just two. It's just two. The blue part is just plastic that I glued in, and I just grinded it down a little bit. By the way, I use a Dremel tool, you know, to do most of this stuff. You know, that you can get at a hardware store. And then the other collar is just another piece of plastic. I think this was back in what I call my hard sculpting days, you know, where I basically just use a piece of plastic, glue it to another one, and then grind it down in the shape that I desire. So this is the end result, I guess.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Love the detail work in the pants area too. That's really cool looking.
Yeah, he had some weird pants on. You know, that's another thing I love about the Clone Wars. They really had some great designs, some great looks. You know, in the sky, in the clothes, you know, in the outfits and whatnot. I think it's just amazing. So I tried to capture it as best I could.
And Peak Obi-Wan, you can just slow me down whenever you need me to, but there's just a ton of great work, and I'm hoping folks can see all of it. I might have to stop us short, but we'll keep going through this. Oh, here's a cool one too.
Yes, sir. Bannis Keg.
Bannis Keg? Is it Bannis Keg?
I think it's Bannis Keg.
Yeah. So this must be this is obviously a Cantina scum and villainy denizen.
That is right. That is right. Yep. I think Darth Daddy was telling me that this person has an alias as well. I think it's called Chi-Chi Demal or something. Chi-Chi Demal, I guess. I think it's even a female, but who knows? You know, all the details that come out on this stuff, the expanded universe and the legends and all that stuff, you get all kinds of information that's just out there. But as far as the figure goes, I think I've made this character like 4 times, 5 times or something like that, just over and over again. You know, I've done some commissions of it. I just did one recently of this same character, and they just turn out great every time. The Duros has always been my favorite go-to alien. You know, I just really dig them.
Man, what's the recipe on this guy?
It's not that hard. This one, the torso here is the Resurgence Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then the waist is the pants, but I just, grinded out the legs. I basically just cut them off at the knees, and then I just drill a hole up in there, and then just pop up some boots. And there it is. He has, articulating knees, and those were that other Cantina Patreon's boots. What is his name? Pons Limbic. And then the hands and the head, of course, are from Elor's Mandoc, or Madoc, or however you pronounce it. And it's just a repaint, and I think I used the what's that Jedi's cloak? The Jedi, the Nikto Jedi.
Oh, that's oh goodness, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not touching that one.
Yeah. But I just used some of the cloth from his cloak for the lower portion. I try to implement some soft goods on anybody I can make. I think that brings it back to the classic characters.
And this just shows you, like the character that I think one of the ones I was most disappointed in the vintage collection line, which is a line I didn't have very many disappointments in, was Tarkin, because of the soft goods, much like what you're picturing here, but his was just awful, but this is just like perfect. It really complements the action figure instead of like detracts from it.
Cool. Yeah, I think with Cantina patrons, I always want them to sit. I want to add that element of sitting, just in case I get around to buying some of that furniture, that Cantina furniture or something like that, or making my own. I always want them to sit, so I'm definitely putting articulating knees at bare minimum on Cantina aliens, so.
Cool deal. All right. Let's go to the next one. Ooh.
Now this was the girl that, didn't she steal Ahsoka's lightsaber?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I remember her correctly.
I don't even remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I remember that episode very clearly.
Cassie Pryor is her name. Cassie Pryor. I thought she was amazing when I don't know if you remember that season 2 intro that we got, or the preview. I don't know where I was. I think they showed it at a celebration at some point. But just her face coming up behind Ahsoka, it was almost terrifying, to see this girl in this mask. She made this funny kind of face behind her, and I'm like, oh man, Ahsoka's gonna get it.
Now, what type of alien is she? Do you happen to know that?
I do. I actually do. I'm that big of a nerd. I'm that big of a nerd. She is a Tyrellian Django jumper.
Ah. Yeah, I remember she
Holy
could
cow.
jump like crazy. She was like jumping from one building to the next.
Yeah. Tyrellian. That's definitely what it is. She's apparently she killed her boyfriend. She killed her boyfriend because he had this expensive lightsaber. He was an arms dealer, and he was basically a redo of that that Trandoshan that they had in the first season, Ganact. But all you saw was him laying on the floor. So she apparently killed him because she wanted to, pawn off this lightsaber herself. So I decided to make the character. I thought she turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, well, this next guy here, Chad, I have to tell you, my little guy Vinny was just in here and saw him on the screen and was eyeballing him and kind of saying, "Daddy, who's that?" And I kind of whispered in his ear. And I remember myself making, I think I made maybe 2 of these guys. So tell us about Commander Phil.
Well, this is my second version of Commander Phil. He is just a great character. All you have to do is, all you need really is just a Rex or somebody with red. It's just a Rex armor, and you just repaint it. That's why I was so surprised they didn't make this guy, because the episode that he was in was just incredible. It was the Lair of Grievous. So him and his team were down there with what is that? What's the little Padawan's name? What's that guy's name?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He was the
The
male.
Mon Calamari,
Yes.
Padawan.
Yeah, the Mon Calamari Padawan. This was his team, and this was his commander, and he actually had a cool, like, almost grappling gun, if you will, and it was just amazing. But it's just a really simple design. You just you take Captain Rex, and you just repaint him, and style him according to however the armor needs to look. Now the pegs sticking out of his helmet are just the pegs from the visor helmet. But I did do another version of him where I actually had the little lights on there because they were in a dark palace. So just a repaint.
You said you had lights that small in this?
Yeah. I've made a bunch of little things. little things.
Nadar Veb.
Nadar Veb. That's his name.
Oh, how could we forget that from Wookiee Lover 1138 video. Nadar Viv. I remember that now. All right.
Yeah, I have 2 of that guy. I just had to get one and keep it sealed, and then I had to open one up.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
All right, well, the next one here is a probably one of the ultimate icons of Star Wars, and that's a Boba Fett, but you kind of made him seem like he could fit right in with the Clone Wars.
Very cool. Very cool. Which one is that?
Oh, we're just going through
there he is.
Yeah,
there he is.
Yep.
Well, what this is the prototype armor. If you notice, he has one yellow gauntlet and one red gauntlet.
Yes.
I was hoping that this would have been the one that they gave us in the mail away. Not necessarily having the removable helmet. I just thought it was a nice addition. But wouldn't it have been great if we got the prototype version with the circles on the gloves and in a nice vintage card? It would have been fantastic. But I'll take the one that they gave us too.
Man, you had me at vintage card, Peak Obi-Wan.
Right. I was hoping this was going to be the version of the 6-inch that they were selling at Walgreens too, but I'll take whatever they're selling, I suppose. So this is just a straight repaint, and I just I think I just popped on it was a Commander Cody head, and I figured he wouldn't necessarily be super old, in Return of the Jedi or Star Wars or whatever. So I just gave him kind of a dark hairdo, thinking that maybe he wouldn't necessarily have gray hair at that point, because he was just still growing up. He was an unaltered clone. Do you guys like that storyline for Boba Fett?
Oh yeah. I'm really bummed that Karen Travis didn't get a chance to refinish her Republic Commando series. Sure you've read that, right?
Well, not so much actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do love the EU. You know, I appreciate what they've done, but I haven't touched a single Mandalorian thing. Not in the EU, no. I saw what is that open season? The graphic, is it the graphic novel open season, or am I thinking of something different?
I think you're right.
But yeah, I don't know too much about Karen Travis and all the problems that came up. You know, it's unfortunate that she had to go through all that stuff. You know, she seemed very passionate.
Oh yeah, I mean basically it was when with the Clone Wars when the Mandalorians were shown to kind of be pacifists rather than the true warriors that you've definitely portrayed with this custom action figure.
Yeah, he definitely looks pretty good. I really enjoy him this way. I hope that we see something like this where, maybe he has that prototype look again.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what's next? Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is one of the bounty hunters that was in that episode. I believe it was the box where I think it was Count Dooku was trying to test them, and they also had Rune Hako, which was who was it in disguise? It wasn't Obi-Wan that was in disguise.
Yeah.
Was it Rex?
Okay. No,
Obi-Wan.
it was
Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right.
And then
it was Racco Hardeen, actually.
I'm definitely going to defer to Pico.
Racco Hardeen, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's right. Well, Rune Harko, Racco Hardeen, same first letter, so it's easy to get them mixed up. But this guy was kind of cool because he is sort of like an octopus with arms and sort of like a mushroom too in this weird way.
What is this? Just total sculpt work, Pico Obi-Wan?
Well, no, there is some sculpting in there, but what I call the mechanics of the figure, I basically develop the mechanics of the figure first. Basically, I'll take pieces of characters and I'll part them together. I'll part them out. I'll make the arms work. I'll make everything the way I want it to look, and then I'll add the sculpting later on down the road. So the head and the arms and a portion of the torso is completely sculpted, and all those all the different weaponry on his shoulder pads and such, and his head, of course, is completely sculpted using. Can I say the brand? Can I say Abe's Fix-It on here? I use the Abe's Fix-It. It's the 2-part epoxy. I think it has a lot of versatility. It's fantastic. The fingers there are that worm that came on the Ahsoka and the Barriss offering.
Ah, yeah.
They're fantastic because I just glued them on and put them there, but they can hold the guns in place. So, and the funny part about this figure is the legs. Those legs are just a dollar bag of plastic snakes from Walmart. So I didn't take the time to put the articulation in the legs. That's why it has that clear post there. But I think it works. What I have here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah, the guns go in the holster. The gun on the backpack, it actually rotates forward so you can fire at people. It's like a Predator-esque gun or something.
Right.
He's pretty neat, and I really like that design of that character. They take it from that original. I think it's either a McQuarrie piece of art or it's a Joe Johnston who did that like plant-looking thing that was originally supposed to be in the cantina, and I thought this character was amazing when they brought him in. Just the connections to the Clone Wars is what sucks me in every time. It's just. Wow, there's something from Star Wars. There's something from The Empire Strikes Back.
I agree. David Filoni definitely threw in a lot of original trilogy nuggets to keep guys like me hooked.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next character in our, well, actually, it's three characters from Droids, which I'll be honest, right up front, I remember watching the show, but I was very young, so I don't remember anything about it. So, Shawn, maybe you can take the lead on these guys.
Since I'm old, okay, Chad.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just,
Oh, I love this cartoon.
Oh man, you want to know what my other passion is besides Clone Wars? It's droids. Oh my goodness, I am trying very hard to redesign like the entire droids line. It's just taking so much time, and people keep buying them out from under me too. I decide to sell them, and I'm like, well, now I got to start over again. Got to start over. But this is why I like the Clone Wars. The droids is the same way. It's just that it's that nostalgic TV show that it was only on for a really short time. It only had one season, Chad. It had 15 episodes basically, and they were really quirky, but I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it because the characters are just so weird. I guess I'm a visual person, so that's why I like droids so much. I just love the look of them. So these are the main characters from the first episode. It's Kiamal, Thale Jobin, and Jor Dusat. And forgive me, my droid brethren, if I mispronounced them. I don't think I did. I just think they're great. They're just some speeder racers, almost like pod racers, if you will. For their time in 1985. So they're just some
days.
Yeah, it was some great nostalgia. It was also some sad times too, because it marked the end of the line too. It sure did in the 80s. So, and this is another one. This is another character. He was probably the most popular character in Droids. Mungo Bobab, Baobab, I think his name is, and I just made this from a bunch of different characters. The blue part is actually from a Clone Wars character, the Snow Anakin. So I actually put a little bit of Clone Wars in there.
Man, how long did it take you to cut that out?
Oh, forever. Forever.
Awesome.
Some take longer than others. I think just sculpting the hair alone was a big pain because that's actually just plastic that I glued to his head, and I sculpted it out. I dremeled it out with a Dremel. There's not a single bit of fix-it or green stuff or anything on this guy. It's total hard sculpting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that hip holster that goes around the shoulders, what's that?
Yeah, it's kind of like a satchel, like
Yeah.
he's Indiana Jones or something. I always thought it was like George Lucas. Back in the 80s, I was like, well, they finally got George Lucas in here. And he's part Indiana Jones and he's part Han Solo. I really enjoy this character. It's a shame he never actually came out. You can get kind of knockoffs of him. Some people do casts of him, and they look really good. The vintage version of him, but he's just a really great character. I think he's a merchant, and he was the owner of R2 and 3PO for a little while. Back in that Legends, since it doesn't count anymore. Counts to me, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Is that just an Obi-Wan face?
No, that is actually the head of the Hoth Rebel soldier.
Holy jeez.
Yeah, the first one that had
Right.
with the goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Power of the Force 2 version, is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, that's actually the new one. The
The
one.
newer one. Right, okay.
Yeah, his headdress comes off, and he came with
Right.
that awesome blaster and everything.
Oh yeah, that tripod blaster. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, what do I want to call that? The '08 Legacy Collection.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, the '08 Legacy Collection. You know,
Yeah.
where we were worried about his soft goods not being on him. You know, remember that?
And might have been the 30th anniversary collection. Maybe. Yep. Yeah, I do remember which one you're talking about. All right, very cool. Now here's a favorite one of mine.
There you go. There's a background character from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, this is the guy that you go to if you're 3PO and Padme is told you to go buy some really rare fruit for a cake that she's baking, or that her cooks are baking, right? Isn't that who this guy is?
Yes, yes. He's the Jogan fruit salesman and a con artist. But actually, there's a great story behind this character. This was one of the reasons I made it. Did you guys watch Tom and Jerry when you were kids?
Yep.
Is this a trick question?
Well, I don't know, but do you remember the episode where where Jerry's uncle came over and he had that big 10-gallon hat and he had that mustache, and every time his guitar string broke,
he'd go get a whisker.
He'd go get a whisker. This guy, the design, so Dave Filoni tells us, was based on that character, that Uncle Jerry or whatever his name is, you know, and he's singing that funny song. This guy was based on that. If you notice his head,
That mustache, yeah.
It looks like a 10-gallon hat. His head does.
Yeah, it does.
This is one of the first times I actually sculpted something. I actually didn't start sculpting until early 2013. So I wasn't, you know, I'm kind of new to sculpting, to be honest, and I'm loving it.
That's your first sculpt work?
Yep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'd say you're a natural.
The head is completely fixing. So it's not that, you know, it doesn't have that plastic feel to it. It has more of a kind of a rock solid kind of feel to the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And those hands, those are Yoda hands, believe it or not.
Jeez. Awesome paint job. Are those pouches sculpted too, I take it, on his vest?
That is correct. Yeah, if you look at it from the head down, so the head is sculpted over just like a bare head. You know, I grinded a head down basically. So I sculpted overhead, and then the torso and the pants are an episode 3 clone pilot. You know, the torso and the pants are an episode 3 clone pilot, and then the boots are Darth Maul boots with sculpting over them, and then the coat is a Power of the Force 2 ceremonial Luke with the pockets, of course, they're custom, and then the fur around his coat is custom as well, and then the arms, I don't know where the arms came from. Actually don't have this character anymore, but I think I just took pieces of it and I just made it work. You know, he's 14 points articulated, so his waist turns, his knees, of course, move. I don't think he has articulating ankles. I think that's the least important articulated piece. I think if they cut that out, maybe they'd save a little bit of money. What do you guys think?
Well, I think ankles are important because then your figures don't fall over so easily.
Yeah, maybe on troopers. You know, troopers can have the full gamut of articulation. You know, if they're cutting back.
If I could get something like this, I'd shut up about the ankles.
I love that the paint that I used for the eyes. It's kind of a really glossy paint.
Yeah, it almost looks like little black marbles. That's how glossy it is.
Yeah, it's just this really super glossy paint. Somebody recommended it to me, and it just makes eyeballs pop. You know, I've been painting everybody lately. I painted Knee Nub the other night. Knee Nub with these really shiny eyeballs, you know, and I painted the towels, the Muff Talk, you know, and all the different characters that have that kind of marble look. I've been trying to, you know, just personalize my collection as I go. You know, it's never just done. You know, nothing's ever done.
All right. I think one of the cool things about this one that really shows your attention to detail is the zippers on those pouches. Wow. I mean, just really an overall. You had to be pleased with that one when you finished.
I was so happy with him. He was my favorite character for a long time. Long time. I think he's great. I might want to try him again at some point. Oh, now here's one of my favorites. This is one of my absolute personal favorites. What do you think of this one, Chad?
Which one are you trying to show a figure to the camera?
Yep,
Yeah,
we're on his indoor trooper.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome. I love the camo.
I totally repainted him. I wanted him to look kind of harkening back to the Power of the Force 2 one, the one that was in the jumpsuit. You know, that's kind of what he looks like. You know, and I like the straps that I put on him, you know, for his backpack. Yeah.
Very awesome.
He looks pretty well articulated too.
Yeah, he's super articulated, of course. I think I gave him a Joe pelvis.
That's what I thought. It looks like some Joe articulation in there, right?
Sure is. Sure is. I try to use that as much as possible. Those Dollar General Joes.
Yep, they come in handy. That's for sure.
You still picking those up? Yep.
Too bad a Hasbro.
I haven't.
Hey, Luke. Oh.
Yeah, they're kind of not showing up, not being restocked recently, but I haven't been checking very regularly. I need to get back out there and see. But to me, I mean, the ones that are the best ones are the Cobra Trooper and the Shipwreck because they got the best pieces on them. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. Is that what you use for the upper legs? Is that like a Shipwreck or something?
I think it's a Duke. You know, a Duke from Renegades.
Duke.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically the.
So, PeekObi1, what's your favorite original trilogy movie? Is it Return of the Jedi?
I want to say I'm going to go with everybody else, and I'm going to say Empire. Although Jedi is cool, I really like Empire because just what it does for everybody. It's mysterious. It's exciting. It's I guess it's got the love portion of it. You know, with Han and Leia. You know, and they go to all kinds of different places, lots of different outfits, and it's just great. You know, so I think it's my favorite. But you know, I certainly like Jedi too. You know, Jedi is such a cool movie. You know, it's a big puppet movie, but I don't mind that so much. I don't mind that at all.
Hey, I'm with you. As a matter of fact, you guys see this? Maybe not, because I don't know how to operate. I've got my Jedi shirt on.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. That is cool. Looks good.
Oh.
Is that a new one, or is that an older shirt, Shawn?
That was a shirt that came out, I'm going to date myself here, when they were doing the special releases back, when was that, 95 or 96?
That's what I thought. It looked really, really familiar. I was like, man, that looks like it's from back in the day, but I just couldn't remember exactly from when.
Yeah, definitely back in the day.
And didn't they have like the when the movie posters came out, they kind of looked like that, or maybe it was the cases of the videos or something. I don't know.
Right. Yep. You got it, bud.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was a great time as well. The special editions. It was fantastic. It was a good time.
Boy, there are folks now that hate that stuff.
Well, there is one scene, that we can talk about, but I'm not going to talk about it, but for the most part, I really, honestly, I love that stuff. I don't want to see what they affectionately call the force field underneath the land speeder, where they just put some Vaseline on the film to cover up the wheels. I don't want to see that. I want to see a nice land speeder rolling into Mos Eisley. I want to see the Outrider fly overhead. That's what I want. If you insert the Hanerito thing, I'll just say it, the Hanerito thing. If you want to change it back to the way it was, let's do it. But I love the special edition. It adds just enough, but I don't think it adds too much. That's my opinion. Everybody agree with what they want. I love it. So it was a good time.
All right, back to the Clone Wars.
Yes, indeed. Yep, here we got a Godel. What was great about the Godels, they didn't appear until season 3 of the Clone Wars, and they appeared to be wearing tracksuits. It was hilarious. So I put him in a pseudo makeshift tracksuit. I didn't give him the little zipper that's on it, but I can always go back and put the zipper on him eventually. But it was just, I think it was just some basic. I think it was Snow Anakin again, and then I just cut off pieces of it, and all the head and the arms is just solid, 100% sculpted.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the paint job, it's my own paint job and my own look.
Eyes are perfect on this one, Peak Obi-Wan.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Just awesome.
Yep. He's a keeper. I have a feeling he's probably the only one in the world. So, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
But.
All right.
Yeah. So here we go with the weak ways. Yeah, they are. They were an interesting bunch. I would really like to see one of these in a realistic style. I don't know about you guys, but just that look, that pirate look, that simple shirt. I would really love to see that. And this guy's name is Guarm, and he's just an amazing part of the Onaka gang. And that the little guy on the back there is
the monkey lizard.
Yeah, I think his name is Pick. Pick. There was Pilf, the orange one. The orange one was Pilf because he stole the lightsaber. His name's Pilf, but this one's name is Pick. So it's a nice little addition.
I like the bright colors on that guy. I like how they did that in the Clone Wars. They made the monkey lizards be like brightly colored and all different kinds of crazy colors almost.
Oh, for sure. I think that's become my whole premise for not just my Clone Wars characters, but everybody. I want to add a little bit more, I don't know, like brightness to them, a little bit more color, opposed to maybe less of a dark weathering kind of look. I try to add a little bit of brightness to them.
Man, tell us about the construction of that speeder bike. I love that shark tooth front end to it.
I think that's just the same standard speeder bike that they made. I didn't
really.
I didn't make anything on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was they sold it with Cad Bane. Okay. Yeah, I didn't do anything to that. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous already. There's one perfect thing right there.
Could re-release that bad boy.
Yeah, it's really an awesome bike. I have a couple of them. They're pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there he is, Jabo Hood, and his repurposed droid. They had said at the time when they made this guy that he was supposed to almost resemble Anakin, as if he was supposed to be a little bit older, So kind of a little fix-it guy, really cool.
Yeah, and that's the first incarnation of him, right?
That's correct. That's correct. I've done him twice now.
Yeah, there's the second incarnation.
Yep, yep, yep. I had to get one to my good buddy Brian, Darth Daddy, uh, and his son Elias, and then I had to make one for myself. So,
Very cool.
yeah. And that the hair there is hard sculpted again. That's actually that's not. There's no sculpting in there. It's just plastic.
And is that a Boba Fett base for the J-Bo figure?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that figure has become really awesome. You know, I want to eventually attempt that that Boba Fett where he's kind of in that gray outfit. He has that helmet.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one. I haven't done it yet, but eventually I will. And just the battle droid's just a battle droid with repainted limbs, and he has that little speaker on his head, his little radio.
Cool deal. Here's
yeah, go ahead, Shawn. I'll let you take
yeah,
that one.
yeah. Here's one I really enjoyed. I mean, we know we're getting ready in the latest wave of the Black Series to get that multi-articulated training Luke Skywalker that just looks absolutely horrendous, but it's fully super articulated, so it can move good. But look at this.
Yeah, yeah. It's you know when I made this? I actually made this in. I think I made it 3 years ago.
Wow.
When you know when the vintage collection first came back out, you know it had the Bespin Luke.
Mm.
So that's the lower torso of the Bespin Luke, and the upper torso is just that the one from the Saga Black collection, the really nice one. And the arms.
Did you articulate the arms though?
Yes, I did.
I don't
Yeah,
remember. I was about to say I don't remember that figure having the elbow joint.
Right. The arms are from just a VOTC Luke. You know, the one that has the removable tunic. You know, so what I did was I just basically I packed the holes up with plastic, and then I went and re-drilled or re-dremeled a smaller hole into each of the arms, and then all you have to do is just pop that joint in there. When they went to that small mini peg, or you know the mini peg on the arms of the ball joints, it was a lot easier to kind of manipulate those when they came along. So what I did there is I just added a little plastic and popped them on in, and just gave them just a new paint job. It's the same head. I really dig this head. You know, it's a great sculpt. You know, I don't know what they got going on with that new one. It's just kind of strange. That new one is just kind of weird. I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I might buy it, but you know, I have this right here, so.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd worry with it if I had this at home. I'll be honest with you. I mean I mean, they have destroyed Mark Hamill's likeness so many times, but that's one of the few instances where they, or you know, even the piercing gaze, like this guy looks like he ought to be trying to attempt to raise his X-wing up out of the swamp, and you know, ultimately failing. I mean, that's just. Is that? I mean, you repainted the head, Peak Obi-Wan.
That's right. I did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I repainted the whole character except for the backpack there. That backpack. I probably could have gave that backpack a little bit more weathering, made it look a little dirtier. But I just threw it on and thought I'd take the picture. But the Yoda, the Luke, and the R2 are all completely repainted.
What do you think of that backpack that the new one comes with?
I think it's a little big. I don't know about that clamp there.
No.
It's a for effort, I guess. I mean, I guess they want you to.
It was supposed to be Velcro when they first showed it to us.
Yeah, but I think they did that for kids. You know, they're always trying to sell it to kids, sell it to the children. They got to give it,
You're right.
yeah, something so a kid can open it up or take it off. I think the Velcro would just give them trouble. That's what I think.
All right, I'll stop whining about Hasbro. Back to the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This guy.
This
he's
guy's
different.
cool. Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Thanks.
I like the headdress. That's sweet work right there.
Yeah, that's 100% fix it right there.
Yep.
I wanted to make it out of green stuff, but I'm like I said, I just started sculpting, believe it or not, and I'm having a heck of a time with the green stuff. It's a little too sticky for me, where I feel like I can manipulate the fix it a little easier. So I just basically used a piece of plastic, like a cape or something, and I put it over his head, and then I just sculpted the it's called a Narlatch, the Narlatch head over the piece of plastic. So it can actually come off the head still. Like I made it so all this stuff can actually come off the character. And that stuff around his waist, that's just plastic. It's all just plastic. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you made it removable. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, I try to make them as removable as possible, just in case I want to keep that figure. Those towels are a little bit harder to get, but just in case I want to keep them as is or whatnot. There you have it.
All right.
So Numa.
This was the first one you posted at Imperial Shipyards.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
I wish they would have made a figure of her. That's one of my ones that they made Waxer and Boyle and they didn't make Numa. It doesn't make sense, really, if you think about it.
They did, though, in the sideshow. Do you guys collect the sideshow?
Unfortunately, someone on this podcast does. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted that set when I remember seeing it when it was first, even before it was released, but the promo pictures of it, and I remember just looking at it and just like, oh man, I'd love to have the money to buy that set because I loved Waxer and Boyle, and I just loved that was like one of my all-time favorite episodes was that one, and I just couldn't afford to buy Sideshow, especially back then.
Yeah, I don't collect them myself. I wish I could. I wish I could collect those. I'm just an ordinary guy, just trying to make my way in the galaxy.
Back then they weren't even that bad back then, but now they're like, gosh, they're like really pricey now.
Yeah. I think I almost broke on that the General Grievous. I'm a big General Grievous fan, and I just saw that thing and I was like, oh, come on, really? And I love the Cad Bane coming out, the one in Denell armor. Oh man, get out of town, man. That is just so excellent. But no, I don't collect them. I don't collect anything, but just the Hasbro stuff. Just the Hasbro stuff.
Well, if I had the money, I'd collect them crazy because they're awesome. The G.I. Joe ones are out of this world. That Zartan and that version 2 Storm Shadow.
Man.
My God, those things are cool. They're so awesome. And that SDCC Lieutenant Falcon that came out a few years ago. Oh my gosh. I'd love to have that stuff. I just can't afford it.
I would probably break on a Renegades character or a Renegades look of a. I would just love that. Something.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see those. That would be cool. I don't think we're gonna see those.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's another just beautiful show. I mean, this is my opinion. You may have a different opinion, but
I love the Renegades. I think it was great.
I absolutely adore it. I just love when they make good writing. They make good shows, and they make great characters, and the evolution of the characters, and how they develop them and build them up, and the looks for them. I think they had something great there, and they just dropped the ball. You
Mhm.
know, I would have loved to see more characters from that too. And I'm going
Well, it
to make
wasn't the
more.
people working on the show that dropped the ball. It was the company canceling the show. They
Yeah,
canceled it. The show
yeah.
was doing just fine. It was but oh well.
More Hasbro woes, right?
I think
Hey,
that was
hey,
a
are you proud
Paramount
of me?
issue,
I'm not
actually.
commenting on this at all. I'm keeping my mouth closed about the Big
Yeah.
H.
I don't think it was just Hasbro. I think that whole deal was some sort of an issue with Paramount and the movie coming out, and then they canceled the line because they didn't want to confuse. I mean, not the line, the show, because they didn't want to confuse people. But I mean, I just remember telling Shawn way back when the figures came out after the show was canceled, and I told him that, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, the figures hadn't even come out yet, and they'd already canceled the show because the show had already run its first season, and then they canceled it like as soon as the season was over, and they had this whole set of figures that was supposed to come out, and fortunately they ended up coming out because they were already made. They kind of had to, but yeah, we never. That's why, and then they came out in JoeCon with the concept case, and they had some prototype stuff there that was in really early stages. But yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it was a good show. You can watch it all
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yep.
Enjoy that.
I do watch that show as well. I think there's something to all those shows and the different types of things that they do. The Clone Wars, possibly Rebels. Who knows? Maybe I'll be doing those Rebels at some point. I'm eager to see what's going to happen. Are you enjoying the Rebels stuff that we're getting, or is it too Disney?
I don't know yet. I'm still
Yeah, I don't know
mixed.
yet. I'll just watch it when it comes out. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's hard to really get into TV shows because, like, even like I really like the Ninja Turtles, but I kind of like fallen out of the habit of watching them, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my son he's not asking me to watch it too, so he's wanting to watch the Clone Wars now, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I'll have to wait till it airs, and I'll watch it, definitely. And if there's lots of stormtroopers and all kinds of cool stuff like walkers and TIE fighters and stuff like that, I'll probably be all for it. But
I might watch it if there's a walker, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, and Mandalorians. That's the other thing that would get me into it.
Yeah.
That's what really got me into the thing that got me into the Clone Wars was clone troopers, and then when they brought in the Mandalorians, and they had walkers all over the place, and they had great star battles and stuff. That's the stuff that got me, and all these great battles. That's what got me into the Clone Wars. But so we'll just have to see if they have that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows?
Very good.
I can tell you, I'm not feeling the characters. I mean, the character reveals and all that. I mean, they're like, I don't know.
That's because they should have shown us the Imperials. We could have gotten along with them.
Yeah. Well, that one Imperial, the Inquisitor guy, he's pretty cool looking, but we barely heard anything about him since they first. What was that? Like almost 8-9 months ago, they started showing the pictures of him. I don't know, maybe even longer than that.
Yeah. And Callus looks cool too, in that Imperial, with the cool helmet.
Right.
Yeah, he looks cool. But,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. We want to get back to a little bit more work, or?
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. How long are we at right now, Sean? Because I
Well,
completely lost
my
track.
time says 8:49, so if we started about 7 or a little after, that puts us about at least an hour and a half. So.
Okay, well, we gotta prioritize these other questions too here. Like if there's anything that because we got still how many figures do we still got in this?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a lot.
let's just I hate to go quick, but maybe we can go through some of these, at least get through the list, because
Well, we got to talk about the Demon Knight sister, because that's
all right. Yeah,
we got to talk about that.
All
I know
right,
you probably want to hit that Trandoshan right there.
Yeah, let's start with this droid, because he also does some neat droid customs. It's Proto 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we got Proto 1, and he is from Droids again. He is kind of just a wonky little droid that he rebuilt himself, and he was in one of the episodes, one of the early episodes, and the trio that you saw earlier, they crashed their ship, and this guy said he would fix it for him. So he's just another character that unfortunately they never made in Droids. I'm still wishing for Droid stuff. So
Just beautiful colors in that one too.
thanks. So this is Poon Zigna.
That's the one you're talking about, yeah.
That's the one. This is the background character of Clone Wars. He is an Aquilish, and he's had a couple parts. He was the engineer of the defoliator. You know, that tank that had that big gun on it. You know, and it shot the fireballs out of it.
Oh,
You remember
yeah.
that? On those little lemurs, the Lerman characters. He was the engineer that he kind of oversaw the defoliator, is what it's called. You know, and they used the defoliator again on the Night Sister zombies, the witches, the undead zombies. So that's him. He's a real style though. He's actually not a Clone Wars style. I attempted to make him look a little bit more real.
Looks cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he could go either way, actually. I mean, you know, definitely with the bright colors and things.
Yeah. I really like doing that guy. This is one of my most recent customs right here. This is one of the other bounty hunters, the seventh bounty hunter, if you will, from the bounty hunters episode. Her name is Rumi Paramita, and I cannot even pronounce her alien species, so I won't even go there. But just a lot of work went into her. She's made up of 3 different characters, I believe, or maybe even 4. Do you guys ever run into that when you're doing customs, where you're taking parts and pieces from like 4 or 5 different characters?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even Kit Bastion, yeah.
Yeah. So she turned out really great, I think, and just a lot of parts from Cattle Parasiti and what's the other one?
Aura Singh.
Yeah, Aura Singh. There's pieces in there, and her hands.
Maybe even a little Padme in there.
No, I don't think there's Padme in there anywhere.
Ahsoka? Any Ahsoka in there?
Nope, there's no Ahsoka. It's just Aura Singh. It's Cattle Parasiti. There's some Ellis in there. The hands are Ellis's. Ellis is that green dude.
Right.
The gun is his, both guns. But that's really it. The head is 100% sculpted, and the hood is 100% sculpted. Just that little coin on her hood is from Embo. So, yeah.
Man, you chopped up an Embo. Oh, God.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
You got to be willing to chop up anything in this
it.
business.
Yeah. The only one I haven't been willing to chop up is the Darth Sidious from the Clone Wars. You know, because that thing was so stinking hard to get. You know, for people. Not for me.
Well, Brian casted parts of it for you, so you can just get a cast from him.
Yep, I already did.
Yep.
So here we have
That was nice of him to do that.
Yeah, this is a Seleucami trooper from Seleucami. And these are actually, those symbols, I actually cheated a little bit. I work at a sign company, so I actually made graphic stickers. I could actually send you some of those. It's that symbol it's just a piece of vinyl, basically. It's a clear sticker that I developed and designed.
Man, looks great.
Yeah.
I thought they might have been water slide decals or something.
Well, I couldn't actually get my hands on those, so I just tried to do the next best thing. I had this really clear vinyl in the sign shop that I work at. So they let me develop
That's really
some
cool.
symbols, and I just placed them on there. Yeah.
That's cool. This is one of my favorite ones you've created.
The female character, they won't sell. They won't sell. That's what they say. They won't sell,
Yeah.
will they?
Old Huey.
I love her too, man. This is my second rendition of Sugi, and I actually sold this one to Darth Daddy. So he's the proud owner of it, or Elias is the proud owner of it, and over there at Custom for the Kid. And I have my original version, which I'm very happy with as well. But they both turned out really great. You know, I really enjoyed this one. And there's not a lot to it, believe it or not. It's just really just a couple parts and whatnot, but you don't have to go back. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm hating to rush you, but
Yeah, no problem. Now, this guy came out of the special edition. He was the swoop rider, you know, and he also was out of, you know, Shadows of the Empire. I said I was a big fan of Shadows of the Empire earlier.
mm-hmm.
One of the only places you can find this guy is in that that classic The Art of Star Wars, that Art of Star Wars book. You know what I'm referring to?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only place you can find a picture of this guy. They affectionately call him Bubba Fett, but he's a swoop bike rider. So I love him.
Very cool.
All right. What is this guy's name again?
Tan Devo.
There you go. Tan Devo.
Yeah. The
That guy was
Egghead
fun.
Detective. Egghead Detective. Yeah, he turned out pretty good. You know, I made his head a little less aggy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it just stuck up really far in the Clone Wars, so I thought he turned out pretty good. Kind of like a crossing guard. Less of a detective, more of a crossing guard.
Here's another one I like too.
Yeah, that's actually just a kit bash. For the most part, all those pieces were just kit bashed together, and I just repainted that character. That's all that was to that. The paint job mostly
That's all.
was.
All he needed apparently. Looks great.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I can remember being so bummed whenever we asked Hasbro the question about the Clone Wars Trandoshans, and they said they didn't have any plans to make them. And it's like, oh man, are you kidding me? They should have had a battle pack full of these guys and then a battle pack full of Wookiees.
Exactly. One of those little Jeeps, you know, one of those little hovering Jeeps with
yeah.
the rotary gun on it. That would just be out of sight, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Ah, well, all right.
Ah, well.
There. All right, here you go, Chad.
So here he is, or here she is, I should say.
There you go. Awesome.
The undead
I
Knights.
mean, a Sith
Yeah.
witch, zombie, ninja, ghost. What more could you want? What more could I want, I should say?
Exactly. Exactly. That
The
was
only
such
thing
a.
she needs is like maybe some camo or something, and I'll be happy.
An airsoft helmet, all right.
This was a great episode. I think they, you know, I want them always to push the envelope, of course, but I think they just went for it, and this was a success. You know, that's a Padme head, actually. You know, the Padme with the open mouth.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I just
Yep.
I just grinded her down a little bit, and then just re-sculpted over. Sculpted
Wow.
over her, you know. So,
Natalie Portman, you've changed, honey.
yeah. Added 100 years. That's what she looks like now. That's what she looks
Wow.
like. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
That one could give you nightmares, couldn't it?
I just thought they
Oh,
were
yeah.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome work. What's the base figure for this one?
Believe it or not, can you guess what those arms are? They are from the Geonosian. The
Ah,
Geonosian bug. She's a bug, man.
okay.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah, and the torso is completely sculpted. You know, you see the kind of the rib bones coming
Right.
out of her outfit there. That's all sculpted, but I just sculpted over that bug. I think I added a couple pieces here and there, but like the boots weren't on there. I cut those funny looking feet off, but yeah, it was just a Padme head on a Geonosian body with boots.
Damn.
Yeah, turned out good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
All right.
Walrus
This is
Man.
Yeah. This is a cool figure.
Yeah, I was so amazed that they put him just as a cameo in the Clone Wars, as well as Blue Snaggletooth. You know, I really enjoyed the fact that they put
Was
those
he
characters in there.
in the Commando Gregor episode? Is that where is that episode? Maybe not.
No, it was the one where it's called Rival. Is what it's called, Rival. It's where Obi-Wan goes and helps Hondo hunt down Savage and Darth Maul.
Okay. All right.
So he stops on this little space station or whatever, and Blue Snags is commanding the space station. But this one here, I went off on a tangent. I usually do that with Clone Wars. This guy was in the Gregor episode. He was just kind of hanging out on the street.
Okay.
You know, so
All right.
I think he spit into a spittoon or something really lewd. You know, he's just hanging out. You know, he looked at the droids and he didn't even have any time for them. So. What was that? D Squad.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome post here beside his vintage counterpart. Really cool.
Thanks.
And here's another one.
Yes, this is my attempt at doing what would you call it, a fanfic or a fan fiction, an EU, a Legends type character. It was kind of like, what if they made Walrus Man now, you know, instead of in the 70s? You know, maybe this is what it would look like or something. But, you know, it was just my attempt of trying something new, seeing, you know, stretching my sculpting wings, if you will. I just took just an old Walrus Man head and just started, you know, playing around with it, you know, just making him have kind of a weird-looking grimace on his face, like he's just some rough alien in some space bar somewhere.
Awesome facial sculpt work on that one.
Thanks. So I'll just fix it again.
Another weekly.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know who has more weak ways, me or Darth Daddy, but I think I'm up to 10. I have like 10 weak ways. There's a couple I haven't shown yet. I can actually, I don't know if I can reach him, but I can try to get him. I don't know if you can see this guy. Can you go to my, can you see this guy here? At all? Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Can you kind of see him? He's the next one I'm going to be showing, and I have a little monkey lizard on there. You know, it's kind of a variation on the different characters and whatnot. You know, and you know, I'm just trying to make new and different weeklies. You know, but I'm up to 10, so I got the whole pirate gang.
That's some love.
Yeah. This guy, just basic head change, you know. So there's Zero. That's my first Zero. I actually don't own this one anymore. I got a funny story with this Zero real quick. I lived in Denver at the time when I made this character. I bought him at this just this Walmart. I bought the you know, the Jabba the Hutt that was out at the time, that Clone Wars version. And the guy who purchased this from me, he lives in Denver, and it right down the street from where this character was made. So I just thought it was like he was going home, you know, he's finally going home. So I missed it a lot, so I'm starting to make a new one. I got another one on the way. I'm going to try to do a little bit different scheme to him, have a little bit different look, maybe change the nose a little bit more. But this was just a straight repaint. There was really not much to it, just the headdress there, the the feather or whatever, that weird hat that he's wearing. I really dug this character, but other people have their reservations.
I think this is really one where Hasbro really could sell a lot if they made this guy.
I agree. I think they could have just repainted the Java, and it would have been good enough.
I hear you.
Yeah, it would have been good enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we got through the custom work, Chad.
Yep, we sure did.
And we need to probably...
Yeah, we got to kind of
cut out a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that just means that we got to have them on again, so that's not a bad thing.
We'll have to have a part 2.
Okay. Well, Shawn, where do you want to go? I mean...
Well, I would think it'd be cool if we could show... Chad, I don't know if you have anything with you, like any of your tools or the brands of paint you use or your customizing supplies. You talked a little bit. Do you have anything there handy that you could show us?
I sure do. I have a couple supplies here. The first thing I want to show is my trusty Dremel. That's this here. For kids, I would say, what would you say the age on a Dremel would be for children? You know, I don't think it's a toy. It could definitely hurt you, but it is probably one of the best things you can use. This is it has a wire. You can get cordless versions of Dremels. This is the Multi Pro variable speed model 395 Type 5. And I like a plug-in because if you have a cordless and you're dremeling all the time, it could run out. So I've had this thing since '99, so it's really been great to me. Another thing you definitely need with the Dremel are some glasses, to protect your eyes when you're grinding down on figures and whatnot. But that's my favorite customizing tool is my Dremel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What type of heads you need with that bad boy?
What's that?
What type of heads do you need with that bad boy?
There's all kinds of different things you can use. If you can see it there, there's all kinds of different little heads you can get. They're a stone base. It's kind of like a stone. It's a type of clay or stone or something. You can get different types of heads. They're all downstairs, unfortunately, but you can get different little plates for cutting. If you want to cut through something. I don't know if you've ever cut through like a torso. It's a pain in the rear to cut through. So, it's always good to have one of those little discs. It's like a little paper disc, and you can put it on that Dremel and just cut right through it with no problem. But of course, like I said, it's not a toy, and you could hurt yourself. I have so many customizing wounds. I can't even tell you. Just trial and error over the years, and then of course an X-Acto knife. That's there we go. Chad's got the
I got all my I got all my stuff right here because I'm on my desk here. But there was the one of those grinding tools, and I actually really like to use this a lot. I found that this grinds, it kind of takes away the plastic, but it's kind of smooth. And then here's I think this was the disc you were talking about right there.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
And that's a lot better than using just like a straight X-Acto knife to
Yeah.
maybe cut through, you know, like an inch thick plastic. You don't want to constantly be pushing down. You could accidentally cut yourself, and we need to practice safety, I suppose, you know, when you're customizing. I, of course, have been doing it since, honestly, I've been doing it since about 95, 96. I've just practiced safety over time. You know, you just try to be as safe as you can be. You know, you could always hurt yourself, and you don't want to do that. You know, just making plastic creations and whatnot. This is a just a regular Hobby Lobby style just sculpting tool. I'd like to get a better one, but I don't really have the resources just yet on the sculpting. I'm still working up to that. And of course, we have to fix it. I have the two-part epoxy. Can you see those?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Love that stuff. It's great. It's great. And now to the paint. The paint. I don't know if you guys use this kind of paint, but it's called Games Workshop Citadel Paints. I love this paint. It is some of the best paint I think I've found out there to produce kind of a flat look. I think that's why it's so popular. You know, there are, of course, all kinds of different paints that you can get to have kind of a flat look, you know, kind of a flat, non-shiny, non-gloss look. And this is one of the ones that I like. So they either look like that or they look like this. So.
Very cool.
Yeah. So those are just some of the things that I have. I have a little table downstairs in the Wampa Cave, and I have just a cutting board that I use and do my creations down there.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. So, Chad, how we doing on time? Do we need to end it, bud?
Yeah, I think we're. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're at almost 140 or 150. So yeah, we're getting pretty close. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Well, I didn't know if one thing I kind of put Peak Obi-Wan on the spot and asked if there was any customizing tip or technique he wanted to share while we were on air. What do you think, Peak Obi-Wan? You have time to show us something quick?
I can show you like some figures in progress.
Cool.
Would you like
Yeah.
to see that?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what I have here, I have a character called Dr. Nuvo Vindi. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yep. The Blue
Really
Shadow
awesome.
Virus.
Yeah. So what we've got is I basically cobbled a figure together, made the mechanics work, and then I added some fixing to it. So here's what we have. This is a work in progress of. Can you see that there?
Yep. Looks great, man. Looks just like him.
Oh, yeah.
This is how he's started so far.
Is that supposed to be Dr. Vinny?
Look at that. Did you hear him?
Vinny knows who it is.
Vincent, say it again. Say who that is.
Is that Dr. Vinny?
Yes.
he can't hear you because the headphones are in here, but he looked at it and that's what he said. He couldn't even hear what you guys were saying. So.
Oh my goodness. So I have basic piece that I sculpted on the front of him, and what I do is I'll take the Dremel tool and I'll just basically run it along the chest until it's smooth, till I get the shape that I desire, kind of partway between hard sculpting it and smoothing it out, if you will. So I guess that's the only thing I can really like an example of something that I can do, I can show you his neck. If you look at his neck there,
How'd you extend the neck peg?
do you notice the white portion of that?
Yeah.
What do you think that is there? It's a clone
It looks
trooper
like
arm.
I was just gonna say it
Oh,
looks like a clone.
darn.
I was gonna say a clone trooper leg, but now an arm makes more sense because it's narrower.
Yeah, so I just basically Frankenstein them together, you know. I mean,
Yeah, anything that works.
Yeah, so the top portion of it, if you look at that, you see how it's a tan portion? That is Mace Windu's head, or his neck.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
got a
his
really
neck.
long neck peg.
Yeah. You'll think that his neck is too long until you actually see it. You know, one of the other things I recommend you doing when you're customizing anything is get a good reference. You know, and I've been looking at this guy's neck constantly, and I'm like, is it too long? Is it too short? And I think I pulled it off. But he's coming along, but he's just coming along a little slower than I want him to. I'm working on some commissions right now that are holding him up. And then I'll just real quick, I'll show you a few more that I'm working on. Can you guess what those are?
Yeah.
Well, one looks like Asajj in her bounty hunter type outfit to me.
Her and Anakin were working together, or
it's
no,
close. It's
yeah.
close. It's actually, this is going to be a Satine.
Duchess Satine.
Duchess Satine in her adventure gear. So all that is really the white portions that you see. It's just all fix-it. You know, it's just all fix-it over top the body. I don't actually, you know, I've never actually taken a figure where, you know, you grind it down completely to nothing and then sculpt over it with the fix-it. You know, I know, you know, like Sifire does that. You know, and I really appreciate the way he does it. But I've never attempted that. You know, I just usually just try to put the mechanics together of what a character may look like, and then I add what pieces I feel are missing. So right now she looks like Ventress, but she will be Satine, and the other one is going to be a Night Sister. I don't know if you can tell, but she will be a Night Sister. She will eventually, you know, have that whole, you know, the hood and all that, you know, all that jazz on the back of her and everything. So I always wanted to have a Night Sister. I really like that one that was in your contest. That was really nice. So.
Yeah, Dorkside.
Yeah, look good. So there's some of the tips, you know, that I can do. You know, it's just a lot of coupling the pieces together. You know, cutting them apart, putting them together, sanding them down.
Well, I'm telling you now, that whole neck idea with using the clone trooper arm, that's golden, bud. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Chad, time to take us home, bud.
Yep. Well, I mean, we can try to do what's on the pegs, but I don't really know what the point is.
Hey, I bought something today.
What'd you buy?
You're never gonna believe it.
Is it Darth Plagueis?
No, it's of a negative nature. It's been so long since I found anything on the pegs that I bought. Okay, now hopefully you'll still talk to me after this. I bought the Mission Series Bespin Luke and Darth Vader.
Have I even seen that one? I don't even think I've seen that one.
It has the most horrendous looking Vader in it I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of Darth Vaders. The Luke isn't actually half bad, but yeah, I'd rub my head too. It's bad, Chad. But yeah, I'll pick that up.
I'll show you my new toy, Shawn. And it's not really a toy, but it is a toy. That's my new toy.
Oh yeah, I figured you'd have that on tonight. I figured you'd have your helmet on and just picture yourself in that tonight.
Well, I would, but the part I ordered to clip that thing onto my helmet hasn't come yet, and I'm starting to get mad because tomorrow's July the 4th, so there won't be no mail tomorrow, and
Hmm.
I'm supposed to have it for Saturday because I'm taking my nephew and my son out, and it better come on Saturday or I'm going to be one unhappy camper.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the
Hear
good
you.
thing is it did come with another clip that I put on Lucas's helmet as like a backup, but
Hmm.
it's not the same.
I hear you. Oh, I did happen to put in another order to Disney Store. I
Hmm.
did a little bit of conversing with them after my last order, how it arrived horribly. And I really put in an order for my daughter because she wanted their Maleficent doll, and I'm probably butchering that name up all to the heck and back. Uh, but I said, well, I'm going to order that. Let me try another of those larger size Vaders. And the box came beautifully. So I might have to eat my words about DisneyStore.com and their shipping because this one showed up wonderful. And the Vader is pretty cool too. It's not quite as awesome to me as the Stormtrooper, but I was well pleased with my purchase. So those were the two things that I got this week, if you can believe it. I finally found something.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And I'm not going to correct you on the pronunciation of the character that you mentioned.
Really?
No,
How do you pronounce that, man? Is that Maleficent?
It's
no, I
Maleficent.
think it's Maleficent, yeah.
How you say that?
Maleficent.
Speak Obi-Wan?
Maleficent.
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 All right. Well, maybe. How about you, Peek Obi-Wan? Did you find anything?
I did actually. You're not gonna believe it. It's back to Dollar General for some GI Joes.
Huh.
Always trying to find things for customs or custom fodder. My wife, she's like,
Mm.
what are you buying those again for? Oh, they're for customs. Oh, it's all for customs. It's always for customs. I did purchase
Yep.
a battle droid last week from the vintage collection.
Huh.
But that was last week. I felt so bad for it sitting on the pegs there, so I thought I'd purchase it and pick it up. I think I have like 10 now. Maybe I'm hoarding those. I don't know.
Hmm. All right. Well, a little bit Watson and Pegs. Hey, and Chad, I did order the SDCC AT-AT driver, of course.
All right.
So, so that was pretty
Well,
cool.
yeah, I saw you ordered that because you were already seeing if anybody else wanted to give you a chance to pre-order one of those. So I hope you end up getting that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope
And
so
as
too.
far as the prototype Boba Fett goes, I'll definitely be looking for that. I have plenty of Walgreens down here, so
Oh
hopefully that'll
yeah.
be easy to find. I might even grab one for myself, but I'll definitely look for one for you. I kept
Cool
meaning to
deal.
tell you that, and I kept forgetting to tell you that.
Man, leave me hanging. Yeah, but that's pretty cool.
Is
I
that coming
guess.
in August? That trooper, or I mean the
Um,
Boba Fett?
I want to say that supposedly the pre-orders are coming out in even maybe as early as SDCC. They said something about pre-orders. And let me see if I can do a quick screen share on this real quick, just in case. I know probably everyone that's going to watch this has already seen this, but this is a 6-inch offering, exclusive to Walgreens. That's supposed to come out. Let me see if I can scroll down here to see what uh, it says. Look for it exclusively at Walgreens this fall, with pre-orders opening at San Diego Comic Con later this month. I don't know what that means. How can they do pre-orders for it at San Diego Comic Con? I mean, did that strike anybody else as like a little
Probably through
different?
the website.
You think?
Yeah, that is different, but maybe they're just using the event as the date, and then you go through and order it maybe through their website. I don't know. That's really weird. It's also really weird they're selling it through Walgreens. So Oh,
Oh,
anyhow.
definitely going to have one, that's for sure.
I don't think it's going to be $19.99. I just don't think it will show up at Walgreens for $19.99. But
What do you
who
think
knows?
it's going to be, Peak Obi-Wan? 25,
Uh,
30?
at least what they were talking about with the new, Chewbacca and them, they're supposed to be like 21 something or other, 21.99. At least that much, maybe $25. I don't know. I have one right next to the Dollar General, so I'm hoping I'm going to get one.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we're definitely going to have to get you on again so that we can finish the notes that Shawn prepared, and we didn't even get to really talk G.I. Joe all that much. We got a little bit in there.
Yeah, I'd love to talk G.I. Joe. That'd be fun.
Yep. So we'll definitely have to get you on again, and that'll probably be coming, whenever we finish out this schedule. We've kind of got ourselves booked up pretty much to close to the holidays, don't we, Shawn?
Yeah, we've got. It was really cool to get the response that we did as quickly as we did. So, really want to thank all the great customizer artists, much like Pico B1, for agreeing to come on and especially be our guinea pig, so to speak, with this new video format as we get better and better with it. I can already see we're better with it than we are last time. Of course, I think one thing we're going to have to do is get a little bit better with our outlines and me not put so much in them, but so we can try to get this back down to an hour show. But I hate to not do justice to all the wonderful work that these custom action figure artists have created. Like Chad has just created some great stuff, and before we leave, Chad, thanks so much for agreeing to interview with us.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me on.
No problem. And Chad, definitely
All
give
right.
out all your contact information and websites and anywhere where people can get a hold of you, order a custom figure, so forth and so on.
Okay. That is, of course, my Facebook site, Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations. You can see it this right here. And that's usually where I post my customs, my work, just what I'm doing. Now, a lot of stuff is commissions. These are things that people have asked me to make for them. So a lot of the stuff you're seeing is unfortunately sold, but that doesn't mean I can do something. As long as you agree to my terms and whatnot. I don't necessarily stray too far away from Star Wars customs. So if you want me to do like a stormtrooper in LA Raiders deco or something, I'm probably not going to do that. But I'm more of just more of a straightforward Star Wars customizer. And most of the time, you can just find me at Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations. You can, of course, find me here on ISY and Yak Face as well. I go there quite a bit, and I think that's it. That's usually the three haunts. The three haunts I put my customs on. So.
Cool deal.
Right. Excellent. Well, if you want to get a hold of me, it's lucasclones@gmail.com, and if you want to get a hold of Tamer, it's
Tamer at imperialshipyards.net. I look like Godzilla. No Godzilla movie. My lips don't match my words.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Well, okay. Well, that's going to do it for episode 70. So definitely thank you for checking us all out. Go to Imperial Shipyards, click on the Custom Action Figure News button, and you can see Shawn's awesome archives. And if you need to subscribe to us, you can go to iTunes for that. And that's pretty easy to do if you know anything about how to use iTunes. And I think that's going to do it. So from Lucas Clones
And Tamer.
we will see you again. May the Force be with you. Bye-bye, folks.